Happy birthday, y'all. We are here. We are live. We are live, y'all. About to ask the question. This question has some rewards, so be ready. Be ready. Come on in. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what the name of your nonprofit is, what your mission is, what you're doing for self-care this weekend. We are talking about my favorite subject, my favorite, absolute favorite subject. And I tell you, you can actually find the receipts today because we got my sister here, Kandis. Yes.
Hey.
We got my sister here who can tell you what I talk about, which is the mindset, guys. Mindset is so important. Mindset is vital. And as we're bringing everybody into the room and you guys are saying hello in the chat below, if you guys can also let me know what mantra, what quote, what do you say to yourself to really get yourself out of that rut and get yourself moving? My goal is to fill this video up, guys, with all kind of positive things. For those who don't have mantras, they could come through and find some mantras that work for them as well. So let's start right now, Kandis, with you. What is the mantra you tell yourself? I'm going to jot it in the chat.
Okay. My mantra is seize the day. Advantage of every day that you wake up, healthy and happy. So seize the day. Every day, if you wanted to, technically could be a new year.
Right.
However you want to look at it. So that's my mantra. And I do say I've noticed that Brooklyn even says it sometimes now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Isn't it amazing when you see your kids starting to say some of the things that you're saying as well? Because I have specific mantras for Jordan. We had a theme. We have had a theme going into the new year with school and everything. And for him, it's been make it fun. And I realized that's good with anybody, with anything that you're doing in life, for adults and for children alike. How can we make it fun? How can we make a lot of you guys are doing virtual schooling with your kiddos and there's a lot of pressure and you're trying to work and do these different things. How can you make whatever you're teaching them right now fun? Grand Rising, husband, King, how are you today?
Hey.
Yes. So for him is, how can I make it fun? That's number one. And then number two is to keep it simple, which is so huge for kids, keeping things simple. Mm-hmm. And how can I make it fun? Okay. Now for my mantras, guys, I would say, let's see. Time keeps on ticking and stops for no one. So keep it moving. Thank you.
Right.
Yes. I like that. Time keeps on ticking and stops for no one. That's right. Keep it moving. Yeah. Absolutely. Mine's, guys, as you all know, number one is creating win-wins. How can I create win-wins today? That is huge. How can I create win-wins today? And what that immediately gets me in the vibe of, and what I immediately think about is that not only am I trying to service and support the people who are around me and the people connected to Clark and Clark every day, but I'm also trying to make sure that we are getting that reciprocal energy back into our business, that we're charging our value, that we are also taking care of ourselves. For some people, it's easier, unfortunately, to not create a win for others. But for some people, it's easier for them to not create a win-win for themselves because they're so busy trying to prove to someone else that, that they are creating a win for them, that they forget to create a win for themselves as well. And neither of those are equally negative. Those are equally draining if you're doing that on a regular basis. Okay. Any other mantras in here, guys? Another one, of course, I use is I am in the right place at the right time. Even my delays are divine. And I've said that. I said I'm in the right place at the right time for literally like 6 years. That was my number one. And what it really helps me to do is to start to flow with flowing with energy. And flowing with, sometimes things aren't flowing properly for a reason. Sometimes that meeting didn't happen for a reason. And of course, in your mind and in how you figured, that would have been a benefit for you to have that meeting or to have that call or for that to flow well or for that not to get canceled. But in all actuality, in hindsight, if you were able to see things in hindsight, you will realize that maybe that wasn't supposed to happen. And a lot of times, There's different stories I have specifically in my life where that's actually come up, where it's like, oh, I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm even glad I delayed on this. I'm glad I delayed on this. Here, let me give you a current, very current story, guys. We have not gotten around to, of course, all the nonprofits. We're going to be a little news update really quickly. Next week, we're going to be doing a video on Wednesday at 4 p.m. reviewing everything going on with the SBA. There is a second round of PPP and EDLs coming out. Some of the banks have already started doing the second round of PPP, but individually, you can start doing them. It's supposed to be set for this coming week.
Okay.
And also, the EDL grants are all coming back. Anywho's, to make a long story short, nonprofits can apply for loan forgiveness for those PPPs. You can absolutely apply for loan forgiveness. So if you got a loan, it can turn into a grant, and a lot of businesses can apply for that as well. And so one of our businesses, we were supposed to be applying, but in all actuality, guess what, guys? One of the big things that hit with this new bill is they have shortened the forgiveness form down to one page from this long, intense process. So it all ended up working out. We didn't have time. We had a lot of things we were working on. It all worked out. I can tell story after story after story where that's happened, where it's like, I wanted to do it at this time. It didn't quite happen, but it all ended up working out anyway. So that's one of my favorite ones as well, guys. Another one linked to the same thing is my schedule is a suggestion, but my peace is priority. My schedule is a suggestion, but my peace is priority. So it's all about, if you got to adjust something, if you're not feeling right, if your intuition is off about something and you need to make some adjustments or something like that, then so be it. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Let's see. What do we have? Just keep swimming. Yes, sis. That's my sister right there. She said, just keep swimming. Absolutely. Good mantras, guys. Continue on adding them in, guys, as we're getting started really quickly. Go ahead. You got another one?
Yeah. This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. Yes.
You know, because it just puts me, you know, in the mindset of everything being temporary, especially certain situations that you may, you know, be uncomfortable in, or certain moods you may be feeling. You know, this too shall pass. You know what I'm saying?
That's huge. You know, that's huge, Kandis, because in all actuality, whether you're in a high or whether you're in a low, the one thing that you can bet on happening is that your life will continue to flow and change. Mm-hmm. So this too shall pass, again, locks you into that flow. Like even the high moments, as you guys know, when you get a brand new car, when something huge happens in your life, you get a brand new house, you get a brand new baby, just whatever's popping up, you are really excited. You're like, your energy is so high, but eventually, guess what happens? Do you walk into your car every day? I know you're one of the recent ones. Your car is you got it not too long ago. Did you think about the last time you got in there? Like, yes, this brand new, completely passed.
Think about that after the first week.
After the first couple of payments and things like that, you'd be like, okay, you know, so those times pass. It also lets you know that you have an opportunity to take each moment and elaborate it, because those feelings pass or whatnot. You could decide, I'm about to get in my car like the first day I got into it for the rest of this week. You know what I mean? So those are all things that you can change, which is why we're talking about mindset today. Dominique said, hey, BFF.
Shout out to Dominique. She always got my back. She always support me, and I love her.
That's awesome. And you know what? Let me tell you.
It's so important to have support. You know what I'm saying? Genuine support and love, you know?
Mindset tip number one.
Yep.
Mindset tip number one, guys. If you are in the right environment, you are going to bloom. If you are in an environment around people that are supporting you, that, like you said, that have that genuine, authentic support, that you can be yourself with, that you can be authentic with. If you're not being yourself with the people around you, then how are you supporting each other? That, again, you support each other. So you're able to pour into their life. They're able to pour into your life. That's part of being in a good atmosphere. One thing we got into with 2020 and quarantine and things like that was gardening. Kandis had an opportunity to see some of our beautiful gardening and cucumbers and tomatoes.
I tried too. Mine didn't work out as beautiful and well as y'all did.
That's okay. We all learning and growing. I'm excited about this weather breaking so we can get back at it this year. I'm excited even more about the second year. But we got into it, and I realized that, because I used to always say to myself that I had a black thumb. Like, you know, they say you have a green thumb. I used to say I can't really grow anything. Be careful of those things as well, guys. Sometimes just if you tell yourself, you notice you do something a little off and then you tell yourself that over and over again, it'll be really hard to get out of that place. But what I realized is I was talking to a gardener and they were like, I was like, well, how do you grow that? How do you get to grow? And they were like, just put the seed in the ground, and they made it just sound so simple, but they're like a master gardener or whatever. And I'm like, it can't be that simple. But I realized there were so many things that was growing. We even found, my sister loves the gardening and herbalism and all that stuff. And we even found things we didn't even know, corns, just all kinds of stuff in the yard that we didn't even know was there, just growing. I had this whole full-fledged harvest of lettuce that grew over the fall that I didn't plant any red leaf lettuce. I really don't know where that came from. But even for the things that we actually planted, what I realized, if you have the right environment, if you're being fed, sun, water, what does that mean for humans? Your feed could be your social media feed. It can be the physical things that you're eating and the sun that you're taking in. Mm-hmm. It can also be the people around you and what they're saying, the conversations that you're having. Do you guys have conversations about your ideas and things you're doing? And if they're not the type of person that you can have that conversation with, why not? Are you guys not growing each other? Are you not supporting each other? That is huge when it comes to mindset. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, having supportive people around you and really determining. There's an old saying that goes, you are the equivalent of the 5 closest people in your circle. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I believe
that's always been a deep one for me.
Yes. Really? It's so important to have a like-minded team in any regard, whether that's whether it's personal or in your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because y'all want to be on the same page. Y'all want to be growing together. Because it will be hard for you to grow in a group where someone else is not growing, because they may not be able to understand where you're coming from, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
And energy pools, so whether it's negative energy or positive energy, it's going to grow.
Mm-hmm. So naturally, one thing, a real kind of silly thing that I like to think about when it comes to people and the people that I'm surrounding myself around is that there was, I don't remember the superhero show, but what was it called? It was one of those superhero shows out of the million ones that have played before. And there was this one person, my oldest son used to always ask me, what superpower would you have if you had any superpower? That's one of his favorite questions. And because he's into animation and stuff, but one of the superheroes could take on any power. They could take on, if they touched you, if they were around you, they could take on whatever power you have. I honestly feel like that's exactly how we are. Mm-hmm. We're taking on, for the people that's close around us, for the people that's connected to us, we're taking on the giftings that they have, the negatives that they have, the way that they see the world, because they're sharing that opinion. And most of the time, what are we doing? We're affirming that opinion. Yeah, that's true, girl. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you go find somebody, or I don't know how you go, what? Yeah. You know what I mean? We're affirming those energies, whatever they are, negative or positive. Mm-hmm. So if you think about it that powerful, like, I'm going to take on some of their gifts and I'm going to take on some of their negativity just by communing with them, no matter what. I think that would really change the people that we connect ourselves to.
Yeah.
So that's a good point to even start this off. And guys, keep on adding your mantras in. If you're watching the recording later, please add your mantras in. I would love for us to all be able to look at this video, pull each other's mantras, talk about creating those win-wins, like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and pull this one. I need to use this today, or I need to use that one, or I love how that has really helped. So the question is, what is the mantra you use that you really go to when you're having some of those negative thoughts? Because everyone has negative thoughts. One statistic that I'll kind of start today's talk off with is that we have 5,000 to 6,000 thoughts per day, guys. That's a whole lot of thinking. That's a
busy brain.
That's a busy brain right now. That is the average thoughts. So if that's the case and you have no intention, no plan, no mantras or anything like that, how you're going to focus those thoughts and make sure they're focused into the area that you want to grow into your vision, then they're going to be all over the place. So you're going to be thinking about random stuff, that YouTube video, that problem you're worried about, cooking later, taking care of them, it'll just be all over the place. And you're just a spew of energy everywhere, as opposed to that laser focused energy that you have the power to get yourself into. And so, guys, we're going to talk about how to focus those 5,000 to 6,000 thoughts today. If you already have a mantra or a quote or something you tell yourself when you're getting into that low place, because sometimes the main thing one of the tips we need to talk about right now is being real. If you have a mind, you've gotten into that place where your mind is telling you negative things back to back to back. And then somehow something else you attract, something that comes and you like, how could this get any worse? Or how could, okay, oh my goodness, this day is just really turning out. Then you attract something else that comes in. So we've all been in those spirals where we just kind of go downhill when it comes to your mind. But I'm a real firm believer, guys, that the mind is the foundation for everything. Everything starts in your mind. When you first wake up and you go to, oh, okay, man, I got to get this done today, or I'm worried about this, you automatically start those thoughts really playing in your mind. And then from that foundation of your mind, it affects how you feel.
Yeah.
You all of a sudden you be like, I'm just not feeling it today. That didn't come from all of a sudden. That's about 200 thoughts in.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all of a sudden I'm not feeling it today. And now guess what? How you feel is going to affect how you show up to your family, how you show up to your business, whether or not you take that action step you need to take, whether or not you go on live or shoot that video, or whether you take any action that day, or God forbid you take action in a negative way and you start to do self-sabotage type things, which sometimes we do when we're in a negative space mentally. So every single thing you've seen around you has started first from the foundation of the mind, from your ideas, from the things that are coming in, what ideas you have, how you talk to yourself. So I just wanted to tell you guys why this is such an important topic as we get into these tips. So please throw your mantras in here. You always want to be around positive energy. Yes, that's a mantra in itself. Positive energy, positive accounts as far as Facebook, social media. Some of that stuff can be negative or positive. We sent out a newsletter today, and one of the things we said was, everything you're watching, you should ask yourself, is this something I want to create? Is this something I want to support? And if it's not something you want to create or something you want to support, then it's either wasting your time or it's either draining your time.
Yep.
And you don't want either of those.
Yeah.
So yes, you want to be around positive energy, people, places, and things.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Marika said, when I'm feeling helpless, help someone. Yes, girl, preach. Yes. That was in there as one of the tips, guys, because it is huge when you focus on the opportunities that you have. The fact that me and Robert were talking this morning, saying that I was going to say back in the day, but actually even right now, depending on what country you're in and things like that, no matter what type of house you're living in right now, it's a mansion to somebody. Mm-hmm. Somebody's praying for it.
It's always praying
for your life, for your situation. For children, sometimes we're frustrated with our children and homeschooling, virtual, all this stuff. Some people are praying that they could just be blessed with one child. So just think of your life that way. Let me look at why I'm grateful for my life. Look at my opportunity. And now you have the energy to say, you know what, how can I help someone? You know what, I'm frustrated about this, but I have plenty of this. It might be picking up a phone. It might be donating to someone. It might be, whatever the case may be. But I absolutely love that. Sowing the seed. Happiness is a choice, not a condition. I choose to be happy. That's huge.
Okay. Yeah.
That puts the power into your own hands.
It does.
And guys, this is so huge. This is so huge for us to share how we talk to ourselves. Because again, 5,000 to 6,000 thoughts per day that you're having. If you don't have some type of script in there, then you just run it rapid. What was that movie, Kandis, we were talking about right before we came on?
Inside Out, the cartoon.
Inside Out. I was like, I'm gonna watch it again this weekend.
Yeah,
but that was one of my favorite little cartoons because it visually animates the things that are going on, the world that you have going on inside of you at every given moment. Mm-hmm. And so that is absolutely huge. Keep adding these in, guys. Keep adding these in. We are actually going to be doing a giveaway at the end of this for the person that gets the most likes on whatever their mantra is, and also who shares the video. So share this if you know someone in business that needs some mindset tips. Share this video. Add your mantras in here as well, guys. And I'll tell you at the end what we're going to be giving away, and that'll come this coming week, guys. Let's see. Establish boundaries. Y'all doing your own tips today.
I know that's right. You do. You have to establish boundaries. That's so important. Because I gotta say one thing. If you don't establish boundaries, you're gonna get taken advantage of left and right. Absolutely. Personal and business. You have to establish. That's so important. And I learned that firsthand several times. It's so important to establish boundaries.
And sometimes it's uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
once you get past that moment, one thing that that really helped me with establishing boundaries is realizing that the people who want the best for me want me to establish boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So if you give me
And they're
some,
gonna respect those boundaries.
they're going to respect those boundaries. Girl, I want you to grow. That's everybody around me. Girl, I want you to grow. Sister, I want you to grow. You know, everybody around me, I want you to grow and develop. If you need to go into a cave for a month, then get what? How can I help you? You know what I mean? Get into that
Let
cave.
me bring you some food.
You want some food, you know, whatever you need to do.
Uh-huh.
If you don't need to come here, don't want to go do this or do that because that energy is not just what you need right now. You know what? I want the best for you. And those are the people that you want around you. So that helped me and it really released me because it was like, oh, if you give me any type of grief or give me any type of kind of clap back to me establishing boundaries, that means you're not for me anyway. So okay, good.
Yeah.
That's a win-win. That's good too.
That's a win-win-win. Yep, we
That's good too because I've deciphered that that's not someone that's about my development. That's someone is about who is about just their win. So that's huge. Thank you for sharing that, Rosalind. Absolutely, establishing those boundaries, and it's okay even if it's uncomfortable to just say, you know what, I can't do this today, or you know what, I don't work on Sundays, or you know what does that look like, Candice? Because sometimes people hear a mantra or hear something that you need to do, but they don't know what it looks like when you're actually doing it in real life. You know what I mean? And so I like to give the samples of what that looks like when you're establishing those. Sometimes not picking up the phone. Is that a boundary that's okay?
Yeah. Or like you said, not working on Sundays. Like you were saying, it all starts with the mind. So if I say I'm not going to work on Sundays, like you said, I'm not going to work on Sundays. I'm not going to start the day even thinking about work. You know, for me, it starts right when I wake up. Whatever I think on, I try to either meditate. We was talking about this, and I try to either meditate, and it's been so challenging for me to clear my mind. Like I said, the longest I've been able to go is about 10 minutes of focusing on the breath and really clearing my mind. But if I can't meditate, I try to wake up with a sense of gratitude, thanking the Lord for what I have, you know what I'm saying, where I've come from and what I've done so far. You know what I'm saying? So that just makes such a difference. Starting the day off with your plan and your gratitude, or however you know, if you want to pray to God, or you know what I'm saying, however you do that, that makes such a difference. Because if you set those boundaries early, right when you wake up, it's easier for you to follow them, you know, throughout the rest of your day.
Absolutely. And I just want to say at this moment as well that sometimes those boundaries are within your own house and within the people close around you. Sometimes people think like, oh, that's for everybody over there, or that's for my business, or that's for this or that. Sometimes it could be with your children. Sometimes it could be with your spouse. Maybe you need to separate yourself for a minute and just have some meditation time. Like, hey, I need this space for me. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, sometimes with your children, letting them know I'm getting some work done right now. The one thing that I really admire
about a 1-year-old, he don't understand.
She like, I don't care.
Like, Bert, forget this work.
What he do? He hung up on our phone call the other day. Like he hung up on the side, like y'all good.
He don't, yeah.
Yes, but as they're getting to the age, one thing I appreciate about you and I really admire about you as a mom is that you and I feel like kind of me alike, we talk to our older Bricky is now 7, right? We talk to our older kids, and I have a 5-year-old is my youngest. We have conversations with them. I don't want to say adult conversations because of course there's adult conversations, but at the level that they can understand, explaining things and not treating them like teaching them when they're able to learn the deeper concepts of life. So not always trying to
not having them, you know, my thing was I don't want Brooke to grow up and it be a whole new reality.
Yeah.
And real, like you said, within levels that they can understand, of course, but you know, I'm not fabricating things and stuff like that, especially if they're asked, because her Brooke brain is, you know, it's just rapid. Like you said, those 5,000 thoughts or whatever. So just feeding into those questions that they're asking. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Being open to their opinions and their personalities because it's real. You know what I'm saying? They're growing and developing, and this is stuff that they need to know. And it's great to come from their parents or the people that they look up to every day, in opposed to them having to learn it on their own. You know?
Absolutely. That is absolutely true. One thing that with Jordan, he just started he likes to work out. So I mean, which is interesting. He just loves it. He does push-ups, he does planks, he does, and so he said, I want to do a workout regimen. So he wanted to make a workout regimen. He drew each of the different workouts down. And he was like, I want you to do it with me too. I'm like, okay, So we were doing a regimen. He was like, you got to do this when I'm here and when I'm not here. I'm like, okay. And he was like, even if it, even if it hurts or you don't feel like it, you still got to do it. And I was like, just like school, right? Because that's one of the things that sometimes he's like, oh, with school. And he's like, yep, just like with school. So it's so important for us to communicate with our children and not bridge them off, so to speak, or not treat them like they're less than. But it's huge for me to even treat my child like I was listening to this one parenting coach, and they specifically use the word, your child is a sovereign being. And I was like, what does that mean? And I just started to look it up and just realizing they have their own thoughts. They have their own feelings. They have a right to those thoughts and to those feelings. We're here to protect. You know what I mean? To protect and to guide. And so that's absolutely huge. Let's look at some more of these. She said, love that movie. Yes, me too. Be around those that bring out the best in you, not those that bring out the stress in you. Girl, Marika needs to be over. Yes. Guys, I love that. I want to read that again. Be around those that bring out the best in you and not those that bring out the stress in you. One thing I just taking a moment to like kind of hone in on this a little bit. One thing that I've noticed is the ones that bring out the stress in you, it comes right away. Immediately. You immediately know, like, this is not. Why do we still do it, Candice? What would you say? Why do people continue?
I think sometimes it's history. Sometimes you have such a deep history with people, and you just want to, be there for them. You just want to help. You just want to love on them. Like, you want to fix it. Because a lot of times if people are stressed, that means they got something personal going on that might probably don't got nothing to do with you. But because they have stress in their lives, they can't go to a different place. You know what I'm saying? Because stressful thinking, I've been in stressful thinking and I've been in a happy place. You know what I'm saying? It's completely different thinking. It's completely different mindset. Your brain is completely different. So if I'm stressed, honestly, in all honesty, I don't want to be around somebody all happy and
that's
what
okay.
I'm saying? And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it's just breaking those bonds sometimes, because like I said, you want to be in a place where you can, especially if you have a long history with somebody, you want to help them. You want to, like I said, you want to love them. You want to say, that's how that person is. I'm going to continue to love them regardless. And I'm going to continue to be around regardless, not realizing that it's affecting your energy as well.
Energy transfer, guys. Energy transfer is a real thing. And I'll show you how this has happened to almost everybody, where they've called someone up because they're feeling some kind of way, or they're upset. Maybe they just need to talk to somebody. You say it all the time, like, I need to talk to somebody. Let me call them up. And after they're done, they feel lighter. Like, oh, okay, I feel better. After talking to them, I feel better. That means your energy changed from that connection. So you have to remember that can work both ways. That can work both ways. And sometimes you might even need to say to someone, you know what, I'm not in a place. And I think that there was me and you would have this pre-conversation sometimes. And with several of my friends, like, hey, are you in a good place right now? Or can I just go do a little venting right now? Can I get some feedback right now? And sometimes somebody might be like, no, I'm not in a good place right now. This ain't a good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they put that
a good time. Let me call you back or something.
Let me call you back. And that's okay too. So you have to realize that energy is going to transfer either way. And you want to make sure that you're not consistently on the draining end, because guess what's going to happen at the end is you're not going to have nothing to drain out anymore. You know what I mean? And so that's just so important. I'm hearing so many things about the people you're around, which is absolutely huge. Just those people, because here's the thing, everything is based around people. The social media accounts that you follow and that you feed on the most, those are based around, there's a person behind those social media accounts. The things that you purchase, the things that you purchase and the services that you purchase, a person created those things. So those are all connected to different energies. And when we realize that, and when we start to protect that, that's a huge mindset shift. What else do we have in here? Um, yes. Dominique said good vibe. Start your day off with prayer. Absolutely. Taking time for you to begin. Taking some time for you. That's huge.
Me and Dominique talk a lot about that. How you start your day off and stuff like that makes such a difference in a day. You know,
Absolutely.
she said she prays because she has like a long drive to work. So I know she said she prays when she, on her way to work. Sometimes you have to take advantage of the situation you're in. You know what I'm saying? So look
Opportunity.
around and utilize the resources that you have available, in opposed to looking and seeking to do other things. Sometimes it's about really diving into the resources that you already have. It may take getting reorganized, and because you might realize it's not as hard as you may think.
Yeah, sometimes you're simplifying. That's another huge mindset tip for me. The question that I ask myself often is, how am I overthinking this? How can I make this simpler? Because your gifts, when you're operating in your gifts, when you're operating in the divine, it's not complicated. It's clear. The vision is clear. The steps are clear. And so how am I overthinking this then? Because I know the spirit I'm connected to is not confusing. So how am I overthinking this? How have I consumed this in a overthinking type way? And how can I simplify this down? And let me tell you, every time I have asked that question, an answer has come up. And I've realized, oh, there goes some time right there. Oh, I don't even have to do this. I can outsource this, and I just freed up a whole day for me to do something else. You know what I mean? It always comes when you ask yourself, how can I simplify this? On that prayer note, you touched on two great things, which is number one, gratitude. Because a lot of time in prayer, that's a time where people are just gratitude and thankful for whatever it is that they have and focusing on that. Life. Anybody watching this right now, they have something to be grateful for because they have internet, they have electricity, more than likely, you know what I mean? They have connection to social media, which is a huge resource and opportunity. Focusing on opportunities is another huge thing. So focusing, making sure you have you're filled with that gratitude. Gratitude makes you focus on the opportunities. When you look at the lack, so in every individual has a portion of lack and a portion of gratitude. They have areas they need to work on, or areas that can be improved, it can grow, and areas they can be grateful for. A lot of times when you focus on the lack, that grows more. Whichever one you focus on is going to grow more. So you're focusing on, oh man, but I don't have that. Yeah, they did a good business. Their business is great, but they went to business school. Or I did go to business school, but they had a person in their quarter that was able to really support them. If I had that, then I would be able to do that. Or if I had this or that, you could do that all day long. But when you focus on the opportunities you do have, majority of you all watching this are living in the United States of America. That in itself is a huge opportunity. I work every day with individuals that are trying to set stuff up in other countries, and it's a little bit more difficult when it comes to nonprofit and business and things like that than it is here. So just really looking at, some people might think that that's not a good thing right now, which is fine too. But talking mindset, my thing is looking at the opportunities that are all around you. When you look at those opportunities, you put the power into, now what can I do? With these opportunities, with the people that are around me, okay, now what can I do? Okay, now what can I? And you're operating from that empowered space, not from that space of, oh, I don't this. What do you feel like when you're starting to complain with yourself? Do that activate you to move? When you're talking negatively to yourself, most of the time people want to go sit down and binge something, whether that's food, Netflix. They want to sit and they want to be sedated.
Yeah, you want to do some type of stress relief or something like that. And it really depends on what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because every day brings, its challenges.
Challenging, absolutely.
So me personally, what I have been trying to do is just give it time. So not necessarily like, oh, forget about it. Because sometimes you put stuff off, you just putting it off for a later date. You know
That's what I'm saying?
Sometimes I just try to sit in whatever it is that I'm feeling. And then you really realize how temporary it is, especially when you realize everything starts from the mind. 90%, what is it? 90% reaction, 10% action. Is that the saying or whatever? Or
90% of life is, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I'm going to say it wrong too. It's 90% how you react to things. Life is 90% how you
Yeah,
react.
10% action. So it's so really just sometimes just letting that moment pass, giving nobody perfect, giving yourself the opportunity to feel how you feel. But I try just not to push it off on nobody else. If I'm in a negative place, I won't, you know what I'm saying? I know energy transfer, so I'm not going to call and push that energy off on anyone else. Now, if it's someone close to me, like you said, sometimes that's why it is so important to have such a like-minded circle, because sometimes your circle can pull you out of that. Like, you and Dominique are my go-to. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes y'all are able to get me back on track. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's just I'm not staying there. I know this is
Exactly.
I'm not staying in that place of negativity, because I know you have to release whatever does not suit you. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm not going to stay in that negative place of energy. It's only temporary. I'm only going to stay there, for a moment. So sometimes you just have to give yourself that time to just.
And that's okay too. That's a huge thing that's okay too. And it took me a while to realize that, as a person that tries and that really, really centers around positivity, I realized a couple of years ago that I had a negativity around not being positive. Like, some days you might just feel, and for me, same as you, those are always days where I try my best to just be in meditation, to practice some self-care, trying not to push that energy on anyone else. But it's okay to sometimes just have a day that you just need to do self-care, that you need to, some people have had some really rough days. I'm glad we're talking about mindset, because some people have had some really rough days with COVID-19, with the pandemic, with things going on, right now in America and things like that. And so sometimes people just need to pause for a minute, and that's okay too. That's a huge mindset tip, guys, is self-care. What do I need today? Have I been working hard all week? Do I really just need to take some time to back up and maybe do some journaling, maybe have a self-care day? Maybe I don't need to be out or online or whatever the case may be. So being okay with not being okay is a huge tip as well.
And
So
how do you think, what does self-care look like for you? It could be like going to get your nails and toes done, or giving yourself, like you said, meditating. What does self-care look like for you?
yes, and we just got our branding on my nails here. Yes,
Oh, I was
branding
thinking about
colors. Self-care for me, I really, really, really enjoy. I've gotten to the point where I enjoy, and we were talking about this before, how sometimes people are running from quietness, running from time spending within their self. All the answers are inside, and sometimes we can search so much that we're searching for this and searching for that, and that we lose sight to our natural gifts, because we've let all of these thoughts in. We can no longer even see. It's like an unveiling and an unpeeling when you start to get to know yourself. And so for me, because I realize that I get to know myself more and more when I'm actually spending time with myself, or just with my husband or whatnot, those are the times that are considered self-care for me. So like, a self-care day is a day that I have nothing to do on my list. Like, nothing at all. I can just float and flow as needed, go for a walk. That's been huge for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you too. You've been taking Brookie out for walks as well, getting that
Is
natural sun and all that nature, listening to the birds. You know what I mean? Just being
that even helps if you have a day where you're not feeling your best, or you're having a stressful day. It's amazing. That natural vitamin D makes such a difference. And I don't care if it's cold. Sometimes you just got to get out there. Sometimes even the cold makes you feel, different. And then just enjoying the nature and what God created. You know what I'm saying? That makes a huge difference.
huge, absolutely huge. And so I'll get out and do those. I love to dance. Self-care for me is anything that brings me joy. Me just leaning into what brings me joy. I love to laugh. Me and Robert watch a lot of stand-up comedy and stuff like that, or listen to it. We organize clean on Sundays and things like that. So just really just enjoying, as opposed to so much doing, because as an entrepreneur, I also love to do. I love working and things like that, but there is a time and a place and a balance in everything. So doing less, a lot less, is what I consider self-care. What about you?
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Doing having a day where you can do what you want to do, and opposed to what you have to do. Like you said, a complete clear day of not for things that aren't forced or things that you have to do. I would say, like, sneaking in the day to, do things that you may not necessarily do on a regular, like getting a massage, or like I was saying, getting your nails or toes done, doing something that makes you feel good about yourself. Because I noticed that if I wake up and because a lot of times, since I work from home, sometimes it's easy to just stay in your PJs. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
But I wake up and, and I get dressed for the day, get all refreshed, and do my hair or whatever the case may be, I feel better. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just about taking care of yourself, and really doing whatever it is, whatever it may look different for each person.
It looks different and that's the part right there. That's the mindset tip in itself. That self-care, and also I was talking to hubby this morning saying spirituality as well. Be okay that there's someone let me know that someone made something called spiritual codes or something like that. But the concept of it is, I don't think I'm saying the name of it right, spiritual blueprint. The concept of it is everybody has different things that connect them spiritually. So it's okay to not only figure out what self-care looks like for you, figure out what spirituality looks like for you. For some, that's gratitude. For gratitude is one of the biggest things that can shift your energy dramatically, because you cannot, it's impossible for you to be full of gratitude and for you to be worried, for you to be have a lower energy at the same time. So just thinking about more and more gratitude and opportunities and all that stuff will immediately push you into another place. But it's so huge, especially with our background and with, some people's background who come from a heavy religious background, for you to be okay that you connect in whichever way that you connect. And people who are really connected won't have any problem with that whatsoever. So that's a connection test. That's a cheat code right there. If someone has a problem with how you connect spiritually, then that kind of tells you where they are spiritually. So it's okay to go your own way. I'll take it a step further and say it's required to go your own way. Nobody wants to see the same thing over and over and over again, because it simply means that, yes, it's okay to don't reinvent the wheel. So be inspired, use people for inspiration and see what they're doing and how you can implement your own things into that. That's great to have those coaches and mentors, but put whatever your unique things are into there and be okay with that. We're doing our rebranding for the new year, like a lot of people are doing. And I was just looking at some images of like different coaches and things like that. And I'm so tired of this pose. Like, so I'm like, if I see one more time, no offense if
I took some pictures
got that
like
pose.
that.
You got that pose. But it just feels for me like it's like the total opposite of what I want to do, because I'm not your average coach. I'm not your, you know what I mean? I want you to see the parts that you're getting from me that's not going to come from any other coach. You know what I mean? So be okay with whatever that looks like. That might look like to you the super professional. For me, it's never been that. You know what I mean? Everything come from choppy, put it together. Like we got to put this together, I put that together. And I realize that's a gift now, because now I know how to work with people who are coming from that, who may not come from a professional background, and to know that that's okay too. You can still start a nonprofit. You can still start a business being exactly who you are authentically. So that's a huge mindset tip in itself as well. Let me see if we got some more. It looks like we got a lot more in here. Yes, y'all are creating your own value today. Learn to accept nothing but expect, my bad. Learn to expect nothing but to appreciate everything. I love that. I love that. Just the point of the matter that you are not nothing's owed to you. Nothing's owed to you.
Nope.
And that's huge. We just got to take a pause, a moment of silence for that nothing is owed to you. A lot of us,
nobody owe you nothing.
Don't nobody owe you anything. So anything that they're doing, that's awesome. If they're doing something that's beneficial, that's pouring into you, that's awesome. One of the biggest things that I have learned, money mindset wise, is that lack, poorness, people who feel like they're broke, that's all an energy. It's not that's an energy, because it doesn't, the number in the bank, that's not the thing. It's the energy, because no matter what they have, their funnel flows in a broke energy, if that makes sense. So they're always overspending. If they get a raise, they overspend. If they get up, because when you're overspending, a lot of times that has to do with the fact that you're trying to feel something that spending will never feel. It will never feel. You know what I mean? A lot of times we're looking at, oh, okay, if I get this, or if I get that, or if I can do videos, if I got the right light and the right this, the right that. And that's great to have. It's great to invest in yourself. But never think that any of that stuff, it has to stop you or can stop you. You can still continue on with everything that you have and just appreciate what you have right now. Truth moment, we got a new camera and it's been in the bag for about 2 months. We got to figure out how to use it. That's just the truth. You know what I mean? Like, and we're going to figure it out.
Are you on your phone right now? You on your phone?
We're on our laptop, and it has the regular.
I was gonna say, that looks clear to me.
We do have a laptop camera that goes on there that just makes it HD or whatnot.
Okay.
But we just got we had got a professional camera a while ago, and we used it a couple of times, but nowhere near what I thought I was going to use it. And that's why, all of these are coming out, is because of the camera or whatnot. And like I said, it's great to invest in yourself. If you can invest in yourself, that's great. But never think. I see so much when it comes to entrepreneur mindset that soon as I get this, let me tell you something. I know several successful entrepreneurs that don't have a website. So many people are like, not that you shouldn't set up your website if you have time to set it up and build it or anything or something like that. But I've also saw several entrepreneurs that have been building their website for 3 or 4 years. So there's a big difference, and there's some mindset stuff going on in there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's not just, okay, that's because I was building my website. It's almost ready, and it's almost, you know what I mean? By that time, you could have, remember, whatever your vision is, majority of people's vision is connected to people in some kind of way. So the sooner the time that you can start connecting to people are the ones that are going to decipher if the value that you're giving is worth financial gain. So they're the ones that are going to pay for your services. There's the ones that are behind grants, if you're looking to get grants or something of that nature. They're the ones that are going to support your business. They're the ones that are watching today or going to watch whatever you're producing. And so sometimes we get so focused on, and systems are great too, but sometimes we get so focused on individual systems and we pay too much attention to that. Again, we have to talk about, if you have 5,000 to 6,000 thoughts in a day, what would you say is the number one thing that you need to do to really, I would say, empower those thoughts? And I would say, focus.
Because I can't focus on 5,000 to 6,000 things.
Exactly, girl. You're not moving nowhere. If you letting all those thoughts just come in and out and in and out, you literally just kind of
just my head is moving, just trying to think about it.
So you have to decipher. Okay, what do I really need to be focused on? Where should I focus my thoughts? And I want to pull out some of the things we talked about today, and we're going to go into some more of these mantras, which y'all are coming with the mantras today. But number one, we talked about focusing on gratitude. If you focus a good percentage of those thoughts on gratitude, and let me tell you something, all of these things, these areas, this grounding foundation that you're making with your thoughts, it might sound simple. Some people want to take a shortcut, or they want to skip the mental step. Like, no, I just need to get out here and go. Well, guess what?
It never works.
Running yourself in the whole wrong direction and just running. You working hard, you're moving, but you're moving in a hole or something that worked 20 years ago. Now you put 4 years, 5 years into something that don't even work anymore because you didn't take the time to make sure you're in a space of gratitude. Because if you're in a space of gratitude, you're creating great things. You're creating things out of that space of gratitude. If you're in a space of lack, you're creating things that fuel your ego. Because it's like, okay, I'm in a space of lack. I need. So let me present these things that are, because almost knocked my tea over. Let me present these things that are reflective of what I need and what I lack. It's the total opposite of an abundance mindset. So the main thing is focus. We talked about focusing on gratitude, focusing on the opportunities around you, focusing on creating win-wins. What else did we say in here? Focusing on self-care, having that prayer time, taking that time to take care of yourself. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations. Thank you, Gayla. She added that as well. One of my favorites is I am enough. That is simple. Just the simplest thing sometimes is really good when you have mantras. A lot of people wonder sometimes, why do they make mantras rhyme, or why do they make mantras short and sweet and things like that? The reason for that is there's two parts of your brain. I've been learning about this. If you ever get a chance, there's a book called Brain Over Binge, which is very interesting. And that's one of the things that I focus on is development. So I'm always kind of trying to get something in this development. But they talk about that you have an animalistic part of your brain, and then you have the part that really like figures things out, the analytical part of your brain. Now, everybody operates with both of those things, but if you don't know how to talk to the animalistic part of your brain, it will completely take over. And they're specifically talking about binge. Everybody's had those moments where they just like, man, I'm supposed to be on a diet. I didn't ate half this pizza, or I didn't, or whatever the thing may be. It may be you were supposed to get some stuff done today. Somehow you find yourself 5 seasons into a Netflix show or something like that. Like you feel out of control. That's because that part of your brain, that animalistic part of your brain, has somewhat taken over. So that's why this mindset piece is so important, for you to know how to talk to and encourage yourself. And that's why it's important for it to be simple steps, and for it to be sometimes rhyming mantras and things like that. Because when you get in that mode, you're no longer, your analytical brain is starting to turn off. So you got to remember, like, wait, what am I supposed to be eating?
It's easy to remember, and think about.
So you want something easy to remember, easy that you can go to, that will get you back grounded and get you back in the right space. Because once you're in that space, it just becomes almost out of control, and you're just, So that's so good. I am enough. Life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. Thank you, Gayla. That's what we were trying to say there. Absolutely. Let's see here. I want to get these all up. And guys, please, if you're watching the recording, continue to add to these. My goal is for women, men, entrepreneurs alike to be able to go through these and find some things that they can utilize. Because when you get your mindset right, business-wise, guys, I will have to tell you that the system, there are several systems that you can connect to. Kandis has a wonderful system, and she does some mentorship when it comes to businesses as well as payroll. We've created a system and have been utilizing that for nonprofits for the past 15 years of how to get from A to Z as a nonprofit, as a new nonprofit. And there's several other wonderful coaches that have a great system out here. But if you don't tackle your mind first, you're just going to go system after system after system and then wonder what's wrong with the system. When all actuality, the main difference, the person that's in there and how they're going to utilize the system. If they're focused in their thoughts. One last simple mindset tool I want to give as we're reading through some of these additional ones is, it's not about always adding on. Sometimes it's about, where can I release? Because sometimes we think as moms and as wives and as entrepreneurs, like, oh my gosh, I got so much to do, but I really need to get this done. I really need to get that done. And that can kind of be overwhelming. But I found when I say, what can I cut? Because a lot of people ask for more. They want more income. They want more impact. But if your plate's already full, what are you going to give up? That's the question people don't want to answer. They don't want to say, okay, I want more, but I'm not going to give up this thing that I'm doing, whatever that thing may be, that's self-sabotaging, or these people that I'm hanging out with. So, you have to decipher what you're going to give up as well, and how committed you're going to be to having your vision be manifested. And as you drop those different things, it's a simple way to get focused, because it's like, oh, I'm letting go of this, letting go of that. So now I have more time. I got more time to focus on this. Oh, that was just 45 minutes, but that 45 minutes every day putting into my business has skyrocketed my business. Sometimes when we come into business for the first time, we're feeling a little bit like we want to get from A to B or A to Z as fast as possible. And it's like, I just want to get there. I see this thing and I just think it's going to happen like that.
But you missed the steps.
You missed the steps, and you missed the process of learning, and you miss the person that's right in front of you, because you want to get to 1,000 people or 1,000 group or followers or whatever the case may be. You miss the person that's right in front of you that's asking for your services. Or, hey, yeah, I need some mentoring. You're a youth mentor. I'm a youth and I need some mentorship. No. I'm creating a mentorship program. You know what I mean? But you got a youth right here, And so make sure that that's called celebrating the celebrating the small wins. Celebrate every little small win, every connection that you make, every time you get to mention your mission. So here's an easy little bitty and if you guys like this mindset stuff, share and like and say you like mindset, because I love talking about mindset. I can talk about it all day, and we will continue if you like it. So please share, like, give me thumbs up, and we'll do more mindset. I can do one specifically when it comes to money mindset as opposed to business mindset, because there's tons that you could talk about in that area. But celebrating those small wins is one that's huge, and then cutting off any type of seeing where you can cut and where you're wasting time, because everyone has the same time. It's how they're managing it. So you can decipher, maybe I need to. I've had time several times. It's a good day to talk about it. What do y'all think about this queendom? This took 5 minutes, y'all. And I got 5-minute styles. I got 15-minute styles, because sometimes I have certain times and certain hairstyles that take a lot of my time. And I can't really show up the way I want to show up, because I got to do a whole lot of steps and do a whole lot of with natural hair and things like that. And so I know that sounds like a really small, simple thing, but sometimes it's in those things like, how can I cut this? You know what? I'm just going to do scarves for this week because I really am working on this project. Or I just got to, let me tell you, nobody's going to miss a beat. Unless you're a beauty, if that's your thing, if beauty or hair is what you're gifted in, that's a whole different thing. But don't feel like you have to show up how other this and that business coaches show up, people show up. People want to see real people,
Yeah, it's gonna look completely different for you than somebody else. Even if you're doing the exact same job or the exact same coaching, it's going to be completely different for you and whoever you're comparing to or whoever you're looking at, because like you said, you're your own individual, So,
absolutely. And that reminds me of the tip of always compare yourself to the day before. You focus on development and growth. Yes, have those mentors and those accounts and things like that you're looking up to. Because remember as well, guys, if you are looking into following a coach or following someone as a mentor, unless you're doing one-on-one coaching with them, just remember that you're only seeing a piece and a version of what they do. So you're not getting the opportunity to see all those behind the scenes and things like that, or what that even created. You might be like, I got to do this professional photo shoot. You may not even, someone may have had a professional photo shoot, but not gotten anywhere near the return that you're able to get with your natural photo shoot or something like that. You know what I mean? Because you didn't see that. All you saw was this beautiful package, and that's a huge coaching challenge and just a coaching topic that I have with my clients on never let the package. Have you ever ordered something on TV, or you ever got something or whatnot and you was really excited about it and they sold the crap out of you and you realize that it ain't nothing like what everybody has had those moments.
Or you did, or used it for a week and now it's sitting off in the
closet. And now it's sitting there or whatever. The package was so wonderful. The commercial was so wonderful. The promises was so wonderful. I'm sorry.
I've done that with food. I've done that with food too.
You've done that with food.
Oh, that burger looking good. Let me go get one.
And you like, this ain't really, and they even say as far as commercials on food, that is straight psychology and what they do on purpose. The ones that you see on TV or whatever food, that's not even edible. They have to use so much stuff on there to make it look beautiful. You don't ever want to be that when it comes to your products and your services. You want to focus on the gifting and the value that you add. This can be used for nonprofits. This can be used for businesses alike. What does it mean? If I focus on giving my value to my clients, the things that I'm going to be mentoring and coaching them for, if I'm focused on creating valuable videos like this, focused on how can I help, how can I answer this question in this group, they're confused and I know how to get from A to B, so let me answer and let me give them value. Your clients are going to grow because they see that you're somebody, your value is speaking before you. So focus on value. If you're focusing on value, you're going to connect with people. If you connect with people, that's who you send invoices to and create packages and things like that. Same thing. Let me tell you how this translates for nonprofits. You focus on sharing your mission. Have you shared your mission today? Have you connected with someone that you're supporting in your mission today, whether that be youth or women? How can you support the women right around you? Be that mission and share and document that. And you're going to connect with people who are like, wow, look what she's doing. Look how I have a mission like that too. How can I connect? How can I give? Just show up for the area that you're wanting to heal or help. So that's going to be a huge mindset. And let's see here. Self-care is having me time. Yes, it is. Me time. Especially for moms, guys. That's important. I know Dominique is a mom as well. Sometimes it's like, your kid, you have to have that me time, whether it's at nap time or whatever the case may be. That's vital to fill up your own cup. Absolutely. Yeah. Everything I need is within me. Marie right. needs to be a coach herself. Yes.
I know. That's right. That's right, though. That's so true.
And it's absolutely huge, because the more you look inside of you and you think it's outside of you, the least time you're spending. Really, the thing about it is, I posted something last week, and I'm not going to read it right because I wrote it, but I forgot the exact details. But what it basically said was that when you really start unveiling your gift, what you realize is it's been here all along. I didn't know how to do this. I just didn't see it, or I didn't choose to. But the more you fall into your calling and fall into your gift, you've realized that I was teaching my bears when I was, you know what I mean? Like, I love to teach. I think I taught you how to ride your bike, and I taught you how to swim. Neither of those I could do at the time. You know what I mean? Teaching is my gift, and it's something that I really absolutely enjoy doing. And every single one of you has some way that you connect that's in a gifted way. That's something that's not difficult for you. You just need to prepare a system around it and start connecting with people, and start to take the time to develop that gift. It's not about adding anything in new. It's about, what do I naturally have? And now how can I shine that up? So that's true. Everything I need is within me. Gayla said, love yourself like you expect someone else to love you. Yes, Gayla, I absolutely love that. I take that a step further and say, love yourself how you also love someone else. Specifically, how you would love a child, how you would talk to a child. Would you be like, oh, you look crazy today? No. Would you be like, how you treat a child is a shout out to we have our tea today, by the way. Cheers, Kim. We didn't got so into this subject we didn't forgot to celebrate your tea booths. There you go. You got the bear one, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Cheers to life, girl. Every time you wake up is a blessing, especially right now. It's a blessing just to be breathing. Celebrate. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like a holiday. Really celebrating the day. Like you said, going back to that original mantra you said, which is seize the day. Appreciating every single thing that's in your day. But like I was saying about this one here is, love yourself how you love others. A lot of times we're great lovers when it comes to other people and our children, and oh no, you're not going to talk to my child that kind of way. Don't talk to yourself that kind of way then. Don't talk to yourself in that same type of energy. Most of us know how to find the love energy, but we don't know how to talk to ourselves like that as well. So if you're saying something to yourself, ask yourself, would I say this to a child? Would I say this to absolutely anybody else? Then don't talk to yourself that way either. Absolutely.
And then furthermore, you can't love nobody else properly if you can't love yourself anyways. You can't love anybody else properly if you're not loving yourself, because ultimately, you're unhappy in one way or the other if you're not loving on yourself. So
that's true. And you don't really even have the opportunity to really experience the full meaning. The full meaning is when you find that self-love, because now you're loving from a filled cup. So it's like, well, let me now I can say, okay, if you down or whatever, let me say something encouraging to my sister, because this is what would have got me up and going. Some people are searching for love outside of themselves, but they forget to come, like you said, kind of practice that self-love, start to represent that self-love, and loving people will flock to you. They'll attract to that energy. People.
And if not, once you start loving yourself, they're going to either attract to your energy or they're going to stray away from it. And that's when because when you start loving yourself, it's like a magnet. You're going to attract people that love themselves as well. So you just have to trust the process. Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you, Belinda. She was just saying that's true. I agree. Spirituality. Absolutely. Thank you, Shop Peaches, and everybody who has joined in on this conversation has been amazing. Like I said, make sure you guys share. The importance of these mindset tips, guys, is the mindset is the foundation. If you get an opportunity to talk to anybody who has reached a level of success in the area you're trying to reach a level of success, they will tell you the exact same thing. How important it is to get yourself in the proper mindset, because you can do as much as you want to do as far as ordering this, ordering that, getting this degree, getting that degree. Not that any of those things are bad, but if you're doing it without taking that time and investing that time in yourself and building your mindset, you're going to sabotage almost every program because you haven't taken that time to figure out how you're talking to yourself. Everybody is spiritual because they're having 5,000 to 6,000 thoughts a day. So that sounds like some spiritual stuff to me, because you conversate, and you know what I mean. Who you talking to? You talking to all, and so it's so important for you to have some type of intention about that conversation. Now that you know you're having that conversation, okay, what kind of stuff do I say? Am I even aware? That's honestly what being woke is to me, or what awareness is to me, is awareness in your power of manifestation. Where does your power of manifestation start from? Right here in your mind. Absolutely. Gayla said, think about and do what brings you joy and raises your vibration. Yes, so simple, profound truths. Think about what brings you joy. If you meditate on the things that don't bring you joy, what you're worried about, what could possibly happen, let me tell you that you already doubled your thoughts. You probably got 10,000 today, because there's a million different scenarios that can happen in a world of all kinds of different types of people. So there's all types of things that could happen. A proper use of your energy is focusing on joy and raising your vibrations, because when you're raising your vibrations and you get to that part where you've really mastered the art of manifestation and speaking to yourself, that's when you're able to create really whatever you want. We talked about that sometime last week, that literally when you focus that energy, you could go.
It's really deep, because it almost happens in divine order. Once you get yourself in check and stuff like that, and really start focusing your thoughts and really focusing on what you can bring to people, in opposed to I know, because like as an entrepreneur, sometimes it's so quick to get up in I gotta make some more money, but once you focus on what your calling is, or what your your craft is, or what you've acquired, what knowledge you've acquired throughout the years that can benefit someone else, man, stuff just starts really just flowing out for you like
yes, that's focusing on your value. That's focusing on your value. Like she said, money is energy rather than what I'm going to get out of it. A lot of times we just have our energy in the wrong place. Well, how can I sell this or do this or whatever to where I can get this, to where I can do the least work possible, show up the least possible, but then win in the end? That doesn't sound like a win-win mentality. Any entrepreneur will tell you that, yes, if you're doing something you're passionate about, it's a labor of love. And yes, we try to work smart as well. But there is some hard work and time. So if you're scared of hard work, if you're scared of showing up when it's a lot of people in the room, when it's just a couple of people in the room, things like that, then you need to do some building, because that's something that you just have to do as an entrepreneur. You have to be willing to give that value and give that value and give that value and give that value, and then naturally you'll start to receive the natural next step of giving value is receiving some type of money. Basically, when someone purchases your services, donates to your organization, they're saying they believe in the value you give. That's it. So if that's the answer, if when they're donating, when they're purchasing my services, they believe in the value I give, well, okay, how can I up my value? How can I learn even more about getting more grants? How can I learn even more about ways that they can create more streams of income for their nonprofits and for their businesses? How can I learn even more about why this person was able to get it done and this person hasn't? You create more value. And then as you're increasing your value even more, your bank naturally increases even more. But if you focus on one first, it's a recipe for disaster, because it's already coming from an unauthentic place. It's coming from an ego place as to how can I get, not how can I help? How can we all evolve? How can we work together? How can I connect these two sisters? You know what I mean? And it puts you in the real. So that's absolutely, definitely a good point there. Another thing that is, I was talking to a client last week, and I want to note on this money, because yes, and they said that's good. You got that broke energy. Yes, Shapeaches. Am I saying that right? Shay, my bad. Yes, absolutely.
No, that's Dominique's sister.
That's Dominique's sister. Hey, nice to meet you. Good. Yes, that's absolutely true. There is a broken energy. It's not broke. Broke is absolutely an energy. And on the money note, guys,
It's
a great thought is to think about when you have financial goals. I was talking to someone this week and they were talking about specific financial goal of bringing in $1,000 a day, for an example. If you have that financial goal, as opposed to focusing and meditating on that goal, I want you to take that goal and decipher what are the different ways that you could bring in $1,000 a day. How many people would you need to talk to? How many, what, okay, let me make a video so I can connect with people. Because the only way you're going to bring something is if a connection was made. So how can I do my part to connect? And rather than focus on that dollar amount, what do I need to do? And what's my actionable steps that I need to take each day? Those are my goals. My goals is to go into the group that I'm helping, look for one on Facebook. If it's youth, look into youth programs, look into different ways to connect to youth and actually go in there and connect to some of those funders, connect with some of those volunteers and some of those donors that specifically have a heart for youth programs. Let me start connecting and following and friending people of that nature. And let me start to shoot videos on why I'm adding value to youth. And you happen to also be passionate about youth as well. I'm going to create one video day. I'm going to connect to 5 new people per day. I'm going to support. How about that? I'm going to support, whether it be with my words or my finances or something like that, a certain number a day. If you focus on that, then you're focusing on the area that you have power in. And it naturally, then you can say, oh, I connected with 10 people and I was able to bring in that 1,000. Now I know what I need to do and I can continue that on. Absolutely. So that is very good. Let's see. We have, I train your mind to see the good in everything. I love that. That's so sweet. I see why. Yes, I see why Marika is part of the team as well. Absolutely.
I know. I see too.
Like, how do you, that's true. You know, how do I find the good in this? Okay, how do I, well, at least, you know, if you make a mistake, well, at least I learned at that time. So won't make that mistake.
Are so good for kids too. I'm going to go back
and go through. Absolutely, guys. Go back and read through some of these mantras. This is what's going to help you save this video, share this video so that you can come back to it, because all of us have had those moments where we're just going down this negative well, and we need to know that we can change the conversation. You can change the conversation, decide, no, I'm going to, I like to listen to I Am. One little tip is I like to listen to the I Am YouTube and videos and things like that. It's just all positivity stuff, whatever I am healthy, I am smart, and very good for your children. I try to also, there's also a couple of children versions of those, but just so good to start to teach them to talk to themselves in a positive manner and in a manner that's going to be, most importantly, elevating. That's going to get you in the, because that's my main thing is always, what's the result of this? That's whether I'm talking to myself or whether whether it's about something, some type of interaction with another individual, like, or especially if it's something negative, like, you know what could be the result of this? I'll just disengage, because neither of those results do I want. So it's not even worth the energy. Same thing for your inner thoughts. Like, okay, I'm going down this really ugly rabbit hole. What if I get worried and if I start to feel down and my energy levels get down, I already know the results of that. I freeze. So ain't nothing get done. We done, y'all.
You literally freeze. You'll pause like
I pause the whole world.
Ain't nothing. That's when you know, like, I
pause the whole world. And so that's not good. So I say, okay, well, what makes me feel energized? And absolutely exactly what Marika said, seeing the good in everything. We had a long day yesterday. I had like a big board meeting from 10 to 2. And then I had a lot of meetings on top of that before and after. Then we had our team meeting and I had my regular work to do. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go in today thinking this is about to be a long day. It might be stressful or whatever. I'm going to look at everything as an opportunity. Oh, I'm glad I get to go in this meeting. What can I pull out here? How much more can I contribute to this? I'm glad that I have people scheduled. Some people are looking for people to be scheduled and looking for more clients. So it's all in how you look at it. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. People don't have to be nice. That's true. Simple.
They don't.
You do not have to be nice. Yes. It is self. And remembering as well that everybody's operating in a different page to you. Let me tell y'all, my Capricorn, I'm around several Capricorns. Gayla, my hubby, my Capricorn husband taught me this real good, that people do not have to be nice. Sometimes they're just not in a nice mode. Sometimes they don't have nothing to do with you. Sometimes they're just, and that's okay too. And when you start to really see the good in everything, you even see the good in that. Like, oh, okay, all right, you're not in a nice place. That's fine. That is okay. So when people are really aware, they stop trying to change people and just start to accept things as they are.
Yeah, you gotta accept people as they are.
Absolutely. Focus on providing quality service or product and connection with customer service with customers first, and everything else will flow. Thank you, Gayla, for putting that into a way that we can add on to here as well. Absolutely. Focus on providing that quality service. Quality service, guys, that goes to nonprofits, that goes to businesses alike. The reason I preferably like to utilize nonprofits and why I say we specialize in nonprofits is because most nonprofits are naturally connected with the betterment of all, and with like community service, and with I really want to create value. Sometimes when it comes to business, some people, are more focused on the bottom line, which is okay. I just have found that when it comes to my coaching services, I'm able to help people to really elevate in their business or in their nonprofit when they're doing something that's a betterment for the community. That's just what I found. So those are the type of people that I try to connect to. I'm not trying to do the things that if I'm not an expert in an area, sometimes it's about, even if you're not, let's just say it's not expert level, but you're okay in an area. Sometimes you have to cut those things off and do what you're really good at. Like, I know I could grow this business, even though it's not authentically helping, but I could grow these businesses a lot faster. So sometimes, again, people don't have to be nice. Sometimes it's not about I'm being mean to them or nice or at all. It's just, that's not my area of expertise. And that's huge when it comes to businesses, knowing your area of expertise. So yes, focus on quality service or product. Focus on your message. If you're a nonprofit or a business, focus on your message. What problem are you trying to solve? What's your mission? How can I share that mission today? Real simple. How can I help somebody who's connected to that type of mission today? Real simple.
Yes.
Thank you, Josh. He said facts. Yes. And brain over binge. Yes, that is good, guys. It's specifically about eating habits in itself, period, when it comes to overeating and things like that. But it's really good to use in anything, because I think me and you were talking about this, Kandis, that once you have mastered self-control and have mastered how to push yourself in the right direction, whether it's in a space of an area that you need to improve, or whether it's in an area of that you're already good at and you just need to focus on, you can master anything. Pretty much. That's fitness, that's health, that's a lot of things transfer between areas of your life. So if you found some success in the area, if you found some success health-wise or in love or in, being a great mom or in business, you can easily see how, okay, what did I learn from there that I can use in this area? That's a little cheat code, guys, that I'll give you. Use that. I know for me personally, in my personal journey when it comes to love, I had a hard time.
Don't we all?
Don't we all? And what I will say is, as soon as I started focusing on self-care and what I can bring, I hate the term bring to the table, but what I give, what my energy naturally gives, everybody's energy naturally gives something. And when I started focusing on, okay, I know what I naturally give. Okay, these are some benefits. I know that I'm a person that really has a focused, intense, I don't know what other type of word I would use, it type of love. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm an intense type of person when it comes to loving somebody. So then the question becomes, okay, what vessel is a good vessel for this? What vessel helps me to stay operating in my way, and vice versa? They're also pouring into me where I'm able to elevate more. And that's how I met my wonderful husband, but that's a whole nother video. And we're able to just constantly pour into each other. It was a struggle though. It was through the struggle and finding the answer that I was like, okay, how can I use this for another area of my life? So are we focused on the wrong thing when it comes to business? Maybe instead of focusing on what someone can do for you, or what someone, what all they're bringing, what all they're doing, if you focus on your own personal actions, how you can pour into this, what you bring to the table as a coach. So now you can say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't coach you, or I may not be able to coach you because I know that this is going to be a win for you. You know what I mean? So I need to make sure that you're an individual that will be able to follow the coaching. You know what I mean? And so it's so important for you to start to see those little mindset hacks that you've used on things you've become successful in and transfer them too. And yes, Minnow put in here the perfect one. The secret to your success is found in your daily routine. That is definitely her mantra. Guys, if you're joining in on this late,
yes,
we're here. What we're doing is we're adding our mantras and we're creating a video for other entrepreneurs, other nonprofits alike to be able to come to and utilize some of these mindset tools. Again, why these mindset tools are so important is because where your mind is basically how you manifest, how you create. From your mindset comes your feelings and how you feel about the day and your take and your perspective. From your perspective, you put that energy into every action step that you take or don't take. And from those action steps, you manifest whatever it is that you have manifested so far. So that's why this is so important. Don't skip this step, guys. Absolutely don't skip this step. Thank you, Josh. He said you preach it now. Yes, yes. Marika, learning how to delegate is so important in business or as a parent. Yes, delegation is huge.
Oh, man.
That's a mindset tip in itself, too.
Sometimes it's more challenging delegating as a woman and a parent, but it is. It's so important.
It's so important. It's so important. Even to your kids, different things. You know what I mean? Learn. And again, that's seeing your opportunities. Like, okay, there's something that I utilize, which is delegate, delay, delete. So, and the question is, can this be delegated, delayed, or deleted? And if it can fall in any of those categories, then you shouldn't be doing that. You should be only doing the things that you cannot delegate, you cannot delete, you cannot delay, or you just enjoy doing them. You know what I mean? And when you get to that point, that's when your entrepreneurship, solo entrepreneurship, turns into a business because you start to, and it doesn't have to be huge, getting into your payroll giftings and things like that. Delegation could be an employee. It could be a personal assistant. It could be your family. It could be your children. It could be a volunteer for nonprofits. It could be an intern for nonprofits and for businesses alike. And it could be just an app. It could be QuickBooks. It could be Calendly, which helps you schedule, which is $10 per month. So it doesn't have to be. It's so many different ways for you to delegate tasks so you're no longer working hard, but you're working smart. So that's a mindset tip in itself as well. Absolutely. Hey, cuz Andre, he's an entrepreneur for sure, guys. And he has a book that's going to be coming out and dropping very soon. I believe it's definitely 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, thank you, sis. Love both hairstyles. Thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, we have gone almost an hour and a half, which is totally okay because this has been an amazing conversation. I've absolutely loved it. Quick little housekeeping news, guys. Our 2020, every January, we update and change our pricing menu. And so our prices from 2020 will expire at the end of this month. If you have invoices out, don't worry. If we already canceled your invoice, don't worry. Just reach out to us and we'll find out some type of way, some type of arrangement or what we could do to honor those if it's needed, especially during this time. But just so you know, our new prices are going to all go into effect as of February 1st. So if you wanted to get some type of coaching or do some types of things with us on our old pricing structure, then you want to go ahead and reach out to us as soon as possible. Also, don't forget, you guys are going to win something for the ones who shared this video. So make sure you shared it. And we're going to go through some of these mantras and some of these quotes and things like that. And the ones that have the most comments or likes or whatever was most beneficial, you're going to be getting a free, what I now call fire coaching session with me. And what that basically is, we've always had long-term coaching sessions or legal only. That's it. So this year, guys, big announcement is we're now having fire coaching sessions, which is sometimes huge. Sometimes people just need to get unstuck. They're just dealing with a particular problem. They don't need help in all these areas, but they need help in building a team, or but they need help in specifically payroll, or but they need help in marketing. And they just want to bust that out in a 30-minute session, get some direction, figure out what they need to be doing, and then go ahead and go from there. So we're offering those now, guys. So if you're interested in that, message me. I'll let you know what our scheduling is and how you can get one of those sessions and all of the good things that come with it as well. And then, of course, one of you guys are going to get one of those as a bonus for free anyway. So if you're watching this recording, make sure that you're continuing to add your mantras, guys, so that we're able to help each other. And then so also that you can enter into that as well. Any other last mindset tips before we let you go, Kandis? Thank you so much, by the way.
No, I don't have any mindset tips. I do have a documentary that I'm watching that I could suggest.
Absolutely.
It's called Out of the Darkness, which is really good because it goes into the history, in our history as a people. And it's not, it's not what people may think of where we started, because we started off as kings and queens. So it's hard to know where you're going, or it's hard to succeed if you don't know where you started. So this goes into, it's more deep rooted on where we started. Because like I said, we started off as kings and queens, and a lot of people may not realize that, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's hard to get where you're going if you don't know where you started. So I would suggest that.
Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And that's, you said that's on Amazon Prime?
Yep, Amazon Prime. Yep. So
okay. And that's sometimes you just don't know what you don't know, guys. So sometimes it is important for you to reach in. Everybody has been programmed, so to speak. And I know that's a triggering word for some people. But what that simply means is everyone is watching some type of program. They watch certain programs growing up. They follow certain people on social media. They went to a program structured for them when it comes to their schooling or whatever they've learned. Everything that we build that's intended to educate people in some type of way or transfer information in some type of way is built into a program. So once you realize that that's the case, you can start to dissect and really dig into what parts of that program serves you and don't serve you anymore, and what types of it you need to go ahead and that's outdated. You know what I mean? But you can't really do that until you start to figure out what those things are, why you're doing the things you're doing, why you're eating the things you're eating, why you're in the business you want to you're currently in, why you're bringing in what you're currently bringing in, and you've been at that same mark, why you're not attracting abundance or you are attracting abundance. A lot of that goes into how you have been programming, and a lot of it is how you're programming yourself, because we're all adults now, so we all have the ability to watch, look at whatever we choose. And so now you can utilize that information. You can become empowered by that information and say, let me make sure, since I know that what I'm taking in is creating my life and is creating, and that's how I'm manifesting, let me focus on what I need to be taking in that's going to create the vision that I feel like I've been called to fulfill. Absolutely. Yeah. So what was that called again?
What was that?
What was it called again? The book?
It was Out of the Darkness.
Out of the Darkness. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I do have one more shout out. I want to give a shout out to New Era Detroit. I had the opportunity to speak and present my business and its services on their Buy Black tour. So it's all virtual, but they are a group of young kings and queens, community leaders that are doing so much beautiful things in the community. They give resources, they give free information, they support the community. The list goes on and on and on. So New Era Detroit is their name. And like I said, they're just a bunch of beautiful kings and queens walking it like they talk it. They're passionate. And so I just want to give a shout out to them and
yes,
respect,
absolutely.
love, and support them.
Absolutely. They're a nonprofit as well.
The city. You in Detroit, you don't have no reason not to be supporting New Era Detroit.
Absolutely.
And that's real.
Absolutely. And they're a nonprofit as well, guys. And so making sure you're seeing the ways you can support, whether that be voluntary, donating, taking a look at the summit that they did for Black business, which was amazing, guys, especially if you all are nonprofits. These are ways, again, for you to be able to get your mission out as you study other individuals who are doing things similar to you. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And the difference between who you are and who you want to be is what you do. Absolutely. That's absolutely it. That's the only difference. So you need to look at, okay, this is an inspiration of who I want to be. What do I think they're doing with their time? And if it's not this or if it's not that, okay, how could I cut some of that as well? So I've absolutely enjoyed this, guys. Like
I
I said, if
did.
you're watching the recording, make sure you're continuing to add the information below. Just as a quick recap for those who came in last, some highlights that I remember from this conversation is that self-care, waking up, spending some time with yourself is a big key when it comes to mindset for business. Really having a glimpse of your day, visualizing what you want to do with your day. We also talked a lot about gratitude, almost in all of these steps was a feeling of gratitude, making sure you're incorporating gratitude. The fact that what you focus on, because we're naturally thinking about a lot of different things. And so your superpower is to decipher and decide what you're going to focus on because that's the thing that's going to grow. So that focus is huge. What you do with your day as far as what value you give is reflective of what you're getting back. So if you want to raise, then you need to add more value. You need to bring more into the community. You need to, tie it in with that. And finally, but in everything that I've read is surrounding yourself around supportive people, supportive things, supportive sites, putting yourself in an atmosphere for growth. Because when you're in an atmosphere for growth, a flower does not have to try to be beautiful. A flower is already beautiful. Food comes out naturally to eat. It doesn't thrive to grow. Birds don't thrive to fly. Birds don't even ask you if you're going to feed them or anything like that. You get a thought, like I got earlier, I need to order some more bird food and put it in there. They're taken care of. The same way that God will give somebody a thought about your nonprofit to donate, or about your business. Gayla, right? Gayla giving me the old school preach sister hand. But yes, it's the same way. Someone can get a thought like, I've been meaning, I've been really wanting to hire her as a coach, or I've been really wanting to donate to that nonprofit. I said I was going to donate today. Let me donate today. That thought comes from somewhere. So just like he takes care of the birds, surely he takes care of you. The only thing that can block that, guys, is your own personal energy, your own personal self-doubt. So go through this video. If you caught it at the end, go through and get all these nuggets because it's about 1,000. 5,000 to 6,000, the same amount of thoughts you have. You can go through and get these nuggets off this video, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget another big announcement. If you are not on our newsletter, join our newsletter, clarkandclark.org. Go and join our newsletter because we let you know when we're coming out with videos like this, what we're talking about. And then also we talk about what we're doing in our private Facebook group. If you're not a part of that, you can join that as well. Excuse me. And you could join that on our website just by pushing download the nonprofit checklist. We have a nonprofit success checklist. If you don't have that, make sure you download it. That'll get you moved onto our list. And we'll make sure, and on our newsletter, we're announcing everything that's going on. One big announcement is that I will be doing an SBA video this coming Wednesday about any of the changes in the current SBA funding that's coming out. A lot of you all were able to obtain some of the first round funding. As of this moment, the second round funding is due to be accessible to the entire public next week, as well as the new EDLs, which the EDL is like the grant portion. The PPP is the loan portion. That's the difference, guys. So both of those should be going into effect next week. And I'll be talking in our private group about this Wednesday at 4 p.m. EST. All right, guys. Thank you, Sabrina. She said, awesome. I will see you guys in the next live. Thank you so much, Kandis, for coming on. Absolutely.
I
love you. Love you all too. You all have a wonderful day. Practice what you're preaching on some of these lovely, lovely mantras that you guys have added. I've learned some new ones. I hope you guys have learned some as well. I'll see you in the next video.